My name is Jordan Leroy Hansen, also known as Ledev, and for this design around a card, I decided to actually design around one of the first legendary troll warriors that I got from the Rastagon's Rumble, which in this case is Princess Talanji. I was kind of foreshadowing this on my blog video, but I kind of liked this card a little bit more when I found the deck for it. The deck for it is kind of the Death Rattle Priest deck archetype, because what I learned is you don't really want to put this into a Thief Priest deck, as more you just want to put this in a general, you're going to add value to your hand type of deck. Anyway, the deck itself is, as we said, Death Rattle Quest, which is Awaken the Masters, summon 7 Death Rattle minions, and you get an Amara, Warden of Hope, which gets you 40 health. So we have Death Rattle minions to do that. But we also have Death Rattle minions that add stuff into our hand. This is one of the few thief cards in the deck, Crystalline Oracle, since as a Death Rattle, copy a card from your opponent's deck and add it to your hand. Safe to say that if we get a high cost one that we can play out with Princess Talanji that doesn't have a useful battle cry, we'll probably do that. I put Spirit of the Dead in here as a one-of, just so that we can shuffle like extra copies of powerful units into our deck. Dead Arena helps us draw Death Rattle minions to help continue on to the quest. Seance is you can make an argument that it's kind of a Thief Priest card, and it's kind of not. It is in the sense that you can still copy opponents' minions, but you can also copy your own minions as well, so it's not really thieving, as more just borrowing, I guess is the better way to phrase it. Then there's Shadow Visions, which allows us to get copies of Seance, and also other spells in the deck, which we'll get to. Spirit Lash, which, as said before, Spirit Lash, essentially it's a big board-wide spell to help us gain some life. Also, one Fiend Seance it's used for, mostly to copy Amaras, so that we can have, if we need to prolong to the long game, get a lot more health. Gilded Gargoyle is there for the coin. Stonehill Defender is there just so that we can discover maybe a high powerful minion that either we can play on curve or save for Princess Talanji. Soul of the Gorgon, same thing applies with Seance kind of argument there. Weaponized Pinata, maybe we can get a random legendary minion to play out with Princess Talanji. The funnest combo, though, is with Elise the Trailblazer, as mentioned before, because what you can do is you can play on turn 10, play the Ungorl pack, and if all those are minions, then you can play them out with Princess Talanji. Then there's Holy Water, which allows us to, it's basically a removal spell / also a way to add cards to our hand. There's also Mass Hysteria, which is probably one of the better board whites we got at the moment. Bone Drake, same thing apply, we add stuff to our hand. Robsandi is in here because it is the legendary lure I did got is for free, and I thought it would be just nice to try as a one-of in the deck, especially since we do have some one-cost minions, and ways to shuffle one-cost minions into our hand. The Undertaker is more of a test here, since we do have a variety of Death Rattles that we can hopefully put onto this guy as just a big card generation value engine. Princess Talanji, which is the main card of the deck. Obsidian Statue is in here as a one-of, just because the Taunt Lifesteal is really good. And Zerod's Cloning Gallery, so, like, for example, if we can ramp early with it with Gilded Gargoyle, we can get a lot of Death Rattles out pretty quick and hopefully complete the quest. Nevertheless, that is how the deck's going to work. So, let us play a few rounds of it, shall we? Lucky enough, this is still the first week of the meta shift with the new expansions, so it's bound to say that the decks are varied. Like, there's definitely people who are discovering the powerful decks like Aggro Shaman and Spell Hunter and a variety of stuff like that, but you can still see a variety of deck designs, and it's kind of nice to see that. And also OTK Paladin, which surprisingly works. A little annoying to play against sometimes, but surprisingly works. Okay, so we're going to go against the priest as well.
You give me strength.
The light shall bring victory.
You don't really need to keep Princess Talanji and Undertaker in the starting hand. That's much better. Especially if this is for some reason some aggro piece. And if it's the same thing like Quest Priest as well, then maybe we can...
Blessings to you.
Greetings.
We can maybe copy some Death Rattle minions from him using Seance, so we have choices. I might Shadow Word of Visions to get a Zered's cloning gallery, try to get it early. That might be the play. There we go. That way we can play Gilded Gargoyle, hold on our coins for turn 7, and then try to get a turn 7 Zered's cloning gallery. Okie dokie. Well, let's play the Gargoyle. Okay. We'll play that guy. Or Pinata. Well, you know what I mean. Okay. I think I'm just going to feed minions onto the board to try to encourage a mass hysteria from him. Because we are now kind of getting onto the aggressive. This could also just be a version of Death Rattle Priest where it's more defensive oriented, so I gotta keep that in mind. We'll get a coin, but I keep in mind our hand size. We'll get random legendary minion. That's actually an interesting choice there. Well, we gotta keep in mind that I think I'll save it for turn 7 and just play this out because that does give us quite an intimidating unit. Okay, that was actually a pretty good combo there. Feels a little bad, not gonna lie, but that was actually a pretty good combo. I can't even be that mad. There we go.
Awaken, my children.
Okay. We could just hit into that. Sure, I'd get a copy of it. But that does fill out our hand, which could be potentially very problematic. I think I'm going to go with the get quest done as soon as possible approach.
Well played.
Well played. This is one of the rare times where we do not mind that. Because
Brilliant.
and we got even the Spirit of the Dead, so either the opponent needs to have a second, which he doesn't look like he has, but still that means we shuffle a 1-cost copy in our deck, which is perfect. Okay, so we now both have our quests, so gotta keep that in mind. I might just seance Princess Talanji so we have a copy with... Well, the problem is we don't really want to go too early with it because, well... Well...
Must consider.
Gotta keep in mind hand, so we'll draw one. I think I'll just play it out now and get the extra copy in hand.
My hand is full.
We saw that one coming, so
You are safe now.
yep. One of the reasons why Seance is in the deck. So let's see.
Be still.
I'm gonna do that because then chopping a copy of a bar into the deck is actually pretty good. And then I think I'm going to try a peculiar approach to this.
Out of my jungle!
Yes.
Brilliant.
There we go. We're probably gonna burn a card, unfortunately. Or not. Okay, that's kind of funny. That's a hard one. Yeah, I think we're just going to, well,
Behold the army of Zandala.
okay, that's pretty cool. And best part is this just won't die, which allows us to draw a card. Which in this case, it's Dead Rainer. Okay, this is pretty funny. Oh boy. Yeah, I was worried about that. But first things first, we're going to take that from your deck.
You'll do nicely.
And well, okay, that can be potentially pretty good.
My beautiful creations.
How do we approach this? I think we take this.
Wings of Northland will consume your souls.
You'll do nicely.
And I think we just burn a spell. We're gonna burn a card in our deck, unfortunately, but we do get more stuff, which is nice.
My beautiful
Okay, so I'm guessing it's like a burn priest where you just use these, hopefully cheap. Oh boy. Well. Oh, opponent, can you deal with this?
Behold the army of Zandala!
Okay, this is... I don't know if this is a competitive deck, but it's kind of funny to play. Also, Golden Brasandi is pretty cool.
Darkness speaks to me.
Well, opponent's thinking here.
Shadowy thoughts.
Okay. I'm gonna play into that. Okay. I think the opponent does not want me to say on Talanji, which makes sense.
Fantastic!
Well, if I'm not gonna have a copy of Talanji, I will take another copy of Blood Zombie.
Giant
Oh boy. Okay. And this, my friends, is why we have a copy of Mass Hysteria in the deck.
You are safe now. Meddlesome insects.
I think it's safe to say this game kind of went into silly, and this might be just a one gameplay video. So I wasn't talking much, just this gameplay is kind of engaging. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, I think we just now have to infest. Spirit the Dead. Yep. 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 So, we'll play that. We'll play that. We'll get Rush. And, hey, why not? We do need to get these crystalline oracles out pretty soon because his deck is about to fin.
Job's done.
This game is silly. Oh boy. Okay. So, now we... We'll get that extra copy of Seance just to be safe. And honestly... There we go.
Job's done.
That's perfect because we can get these extra copies of Seance to help us hopefully keep us survive longer against the fatigue game, which currently our opponent, unless this opponent runs the one legendary that allows you to shuffle a copy of a opponent's deck into your deck, our opponent has not exactly got ready for yet. Okay. Well, at least we got a couple of copies of Mass Hysteria, just to be safe. So we know there was a one copy of Mass Hysteria on the deck. Shadow Vision was also one of. They're probably trying to get additional Mass Hysterias. We will take the coin.
Awaken, my children.
Nah, it's not worth it.
I'm almost out of cards.
I bring life.
And that is why we put an additional copy of Aurora in our deck. Oh, and to just get the point across.
Be gone!
think it's safe to say we have more copies of Amara than he does. Okay, mass this area. Makes sense. Yep, we'll do our own.
This jungle hides many secrets.
We're going to shuffle a copy of the pack into our deck, which saves us further from the fatigue game. But yeah, the opponent's now at the moment where, unless he has additional ways of resource generation, we might have a good chance of winning this, or pretty much did win this, whatever way you look at it.
I bring life.
Yeah.
Safe now.
Job done. Out of my jungle.
It's safe to say that caught 0. There we go.
Out of my jungle.
And so yeah, it's actually pretty cool. And then we'll play Weaponized Pinata, and wow. There's the other copy of Second Scream. There's. Oh.
Unity. Precision. Job done. Affection.
You are safe now.
Okay. Let's not play that until we absolutely have to. Gee.
You are safe now.
Yep, we needed that last one. But still, not a bad deck he had. That was a pretty crazy game. Whew. Okay, that match took a little while, but you kind of see what the deck's purpose is. It's kind of one of my favorite decks I kind of brewed for the expansion so far. There's definitely some silly shenanigans you can do in this meta, so it's a fun deck. I'm going to try to do something a little bit weird next week with my deck tech video, designing around a specific Murloc-y rare, let's just say. And boy, is that one going to be a challenge to brew around. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is Ledda, signing out.